Mi gente, estamos en otro en vivo. Vamos a ir a caminar justo enfrente de la Catedral de San José, California. Vamos a ver si podemos entrar y mostrarles cómo es o cómo está esa catedral de San José, California. El día ahora aquí en San José quiere llover, está fresquito, tenemos un clima muy agradable. Internet is okay. Vamos. Okay, your name is Anita. You speak Spanish? No, but you speak a little bit español. And you will help me to walk around. Okay, muchas gracias. Con mucho gusto. Sí, ok, ella nos va a ayudar a caminar y nos va a mostrar cómo está la iglesia ahora. Sí, ok, let's go. Oh, esto es parte de España. De España.
Sí, señor.
Ok.
So San Jose was founded as a little pueblo in 1777.
Fue fundado en 17.
77.
Fue fundado en 1700. 1777. Wow, muchos años. Sí, ok.
So this was the first civilian settlement in California. Before that, everything was either a mission with friars, Franciscans, or it was a presidio or a fort. And so this was the first civilian. It was retired soldiers mostly that they were asked to settle here and become ranchers and farmers. And so they settled in San Jose, named after, in English, St. Joseph, which is how we have the name of this beautiful church.
Ok. José es el nombre, por eso lleva el nombre de la iglesia, José.
So San
José.
Jose is the city and St. Joseph is the church.
San Joseph.
Right.
San
So
Joseph.
we have a very great honor of St. Joseph.
Wow, okay. Oh, it's very nice to have you to walk around.
Okay.
Yeah.
And so the very first homes were built just down the street.
Oh, just down?
Down in front of the big hotel in Cesar Chavez Plaza. So that's called Cesar Chavez. I don't know if he was a great
It's right across the.
That's where the first homes were.
Yeah.
This land for the church was donated by an old Spanish family, the Sonols. They had a land grant.
La tierra fue donada por gente española.
Sí. So that was it. In 1803.
Eso fue en 1803.
Sí. The people who lived here used to have to walk all the way to Santa Clara Mission to go to Mass. So,
To go mad.
to Mass, to misa.
Oh, por la misa. Ok, la
iglesia.
gente que vivía aquí tenía que caminar hasta Santa Clara, para ir a la misa. How long was that? Like
about 5 miles.
5 miles.
And they would walk.
Caminando, 5 millas caminando.
They were wealthier, they could have a horse or a wagon.
O podían usar caballos o carretas, ¿no?
And in those days, it was a little dangerous to walk that far because there were native peoples that weren't always happy to see them. There were wild animals, and it was like reeds and grasses here. So it was not settled at all.
No big street like right now.
No, no. Big
Ok,
street.
no habían calles en ese tiempo para caminar y ir a la misa hasta Santa Clara, a la ciudad de Santa Clara.
Right. So, so the people here asked the governor of Spain, the governor, they had to go to the king, and the governor who was in Monterrey gave them approval to build a church. So this land was donated 1803, the Sanol family.
Fue donada la tierra para esta iglesia en 1803. When they start to build the church.
1803.
Oh,
The first church was a little adobe.
Here.
Yes,
La-
adobe church with a thatch roof.
Ok, la primera iglesia formada aquí fue de adobe, de tierra, no like
Sí,
ok,
sí, adobe roofs.
adobe, ok.
In this site, and it was all Franciscans then. There was not even 100 people. So that church lasted like about 30 years, and then finally, after several earthquakes, it was destroyed in an earthquake.
Fue destruida por un terremoto.
Sí, I don't know how to say earthquake.
Terremoto,
Terremoto.
sí.
So then they built a second adobe, a little bit bigger because San Jose had grown, and that adobe also was destroyed. In an earthquake.
Construyeron una nueva iglesia de adobe todavía, pero poquito más grande, more people, right? Y había más gente y había.
Not much grander, but yes.
The second church was in what year?
Let me look at it.
Okay,
It's
but
about 1830.
1803 was the first one, right?
Right. 1835. was the
18,
second adobe.
1835 fue hecha la segunda iglesia,
Sí.
porque la ciudad de San José estaba creciendo.
Sí, yes.
And then,
So that church lasted also quite a while, but it also was destroyed in an earthquake, the second church.
igual la segunda iglesia fue destruida por un terremoto.
So then they said, let's be smarter, we'll build a wooden church because they're much better in earthquakes. They
The
fear a
wood.
lot, yes. The third church
Ok,
was wooden.
la tercera iglesia dijeron, vamos a hacerla de madera
Sí.
para ver si el terremoto o the earthquake no la quebraba,
And it
¿verdad?
was much bigger.
Y estaba más grande
San
esa.
Jose had grown by then. And also by that time, the Americanos had come to California and taken over. Actually, Spain lost their land to Mexico, and then the Americans came and took California. There was a gold rush. So the Americans just basically moved in and took over. It was
Okay.
a huge rush. So the third
With
church-
the third church.
Yes, with
Yes,
the wooden church.
yes.
By that time, this was 1849. We became a state, so we were part of the.
The state came on 18.
About 1849.
49.
Gold rush. Right away, they said,
Okay.
there's gold in those hills. We want that land.
Ok. El estado de California fue fundado en 1849. Alrededor de ese tiempo fue fundado California.
So by this time, they had a church that was off-site called St. Joseph while they built like a bigger church to replace the see if I got that right.
This church.
Church.
Okay.
Right, when they built
Okay.
they built last years old, and there were some kids smoking next door in a livery stable, in some stables where they had the horses and such. They were smoking, and they caught the barn on fire, and the church caught on fire.
La tercera iglesia era de madera, pensando que el terremoto no la iba a quebrar, pero se quemó porque alguien le prendió fuego. En fire.
Well, yeah, fire. See. So they had another church that was offsite. Well, they built.
That was número 4.
That was number 3, and number 4 was over across the street.
Oh.
While they built this church. So this church is from about 1877.
Esta iglesia fue hecha alrededor de 1870.
1870. See right here.
1870.
And I'll give you one of these. 1876, they laid the cornerstone.
Ella nos está
And it
dando
was
los
in
números.
1877, they had a church. This beautiful church.
Oh, this is beautiful.
It was designed by an Irish architect, Brian Clench. I have a brochure in Spanish too.
Ok, estamos conectados nuevamente. Ok, y nos dio un folleto y este es en español.
We have many people here in Spanish.
Oh, tenemos mucho.
Historically very
Sí.
much Spanish, yeah.
Ok. ¿Qué? Ok.
So there have been a couple of restorations of the church. The latest major one was done in 1987 to 1990. But before that, the church was much more traditional looking, where the altar was way at the back. But after Vatican II, the altar was turned around. Everything was more centered, and it was very much redesigned in a more modern way. That was 1987 to 1990 was when the church was redesigned, fairly recently. Everything was cleaned and restored. All the art was taken down from the ceiling. And this is all oil on canvas. Let me tell you a little bit about that. First, I'll talk about the Stations of the Cross. The Stations of the Cross are copies of
Let me go over there.
Are copies of the Stations of the Cross that were found in a cathedral in France.
Can we go?
And those original stations were that church was destroyed in a bombing in World War I. So they no longer exist. And there's 2 or 3 copies of these Stations of the Cross around the world. They were donated by a very important family in California, the O'Connor family.
O'Connor.
Very.
We have a hospital, O'Connor.
That's named after the same people. They donated that hospital.
They donate this.
Yes, they also donated almost all of the stained glass that you see in the cathedral. They became very wealthy in the gold rush. And they moved to San Jose, lucky us.
Yeah.
And they were very generous with the church.
Yeah. Esos cuadros que miramos ahí al fondo fueron donados por una familia de San José que se llaman O'Connor. O'Connor, right?
O'Connor.
Yeah, O'Connor.
O'Connor, just like the hospital, and that was the same family.
Oh, same family.
Same family,
Okay.
the same people. They also donated quite a bit of money to University of Santa Clara.
Okay.
The mansion they lived in when they lived here, they donated to the Notre Dame nuns. It became Notre Dame High School. So they were.
Can you repeat me? Okay, Anita, right? Anita. Anita dice que fuimos bendecidos cuando la familia O'Connor se mudaron a San José, ¿verdad?
They made a huge amount of money in the gold rush. They lived in Grass Valley. Nobody stayed here long. But while they were here,
They moved back.
They moved back to Maryland. He was from Ireland and she was from, I believe, Ohio. And they moved back east, but while they were here, and they were generous to many places around.
Can we keep walking a little bit?
Let's go.
Anita nos va a mostrar cómo está la iglesia aquí adentro. Como pueden ver, es una belleza.
Well, here you can look up into the dome, which again is all Meyer glasses from Germany.
Vamos a ver arriba. Todo es puro vidrio. It's glass.
It's glass. It's stained glass from Germany.
Es un glass alemán. Es de Alemania ese material.
And then almost all the artwork that you see, all the paintings, were done by a priest from Italy, Father Cicchetti.
The paint.
The painting. And Father Cicchetti came here in the 1920s. And he was in some trouble in Italy because Mussolini was rising to power then. And so he had a brother in San Jose, and he asked if he could come to San Jose because he needed to get out of Italy. And so the bishop gave him permission. He was an artist, also trained at the Vatican Art School. So he was very accomplished, and we were very lucky to get him to. The bishop at that time was in San Francisco, and he told them, please go down to St. Joseph's and decorate that church. And a lot of the work that you see due to Father Cicchetti. So, Mark. So we start here with Matthew. Up here, right kind of behind us is Mark. We have Luke, and then John is like right over the altar. On the corners are all the doctors of the church. Father Cicchetti painted all those. They're oil on canvas, and then they are glued up to the plaster. In the 1980s, we had an artist come, and he took them all down, and he refurbished them and put them back up again. So that's why they're so brilliant looking. Father Cicchetti also did, we call these the Jesuit corners, if you look around.
The corners.
The Jesuit corners. We first had Franciscans here, then we got Jesuits. Jesuits were here for about 140 years.
Oh,
There's
okay.
Ignatius Loyola, Francis Xavier, Aloysius Gonzaga. And here we have Peter Canisius up here. They're all Jesuits. Our Pope right now is a Jesuit, Pope Francis. They're known for teachers, being teachers.
Oh, they are.
Right.
Ellos eran maestros. Huh?
Oh, yes.
Okay.
So, then we have these beautiful statues, this wonderful depiction of the crucifixion. Corners. Here we have St. Clare, and we are in San Jose in Santa Clara County. So St. Clare in the corner there.
That one, right?
And we can get closer if you'd like.
Yeah.
But that's St. Clare.
Okay,
Because we're in Santa Clara County, so we're San Jose, Santa Clara County. Over here we have Joseph, for whom the church is named, St. Joseph with the child Jesus as a young boy. We'll get up closer and see that too.
Okay.
And then over here, which doesn't seem to really fit with the rest of the statues we've seen, that's St. Patrick. So why we have that St. Patrick statue? It's much older than any of the rest. But in that fire that I talked about,
Yeah.
there was an order called the Ancient Order of Hibernians who were just down the street, and they're a bunch of Irish guys. So when they saw the church on fire, they rushed over here, and they saved the tabernacle and the choir loft and the pulpit. There used to be a pulpit here, like it's actually up on the stairs now, and the statue of St. Patrick. So that's their patron saint. So they saved St. That's why it's so different than the rest. It's very much older. It's from that third church that burnt down in the 1870s. So those are all the kind of artwork here. Then over here, these emblems that you see, these round.
The
The round emblems, the blue.
yeah. Okay.
This
Let
thing's
me.
painted blue. That's
Yes.
painted in what's called a trompe-l'oeil style. Again, Father Cicchetti. And they're flat, but they're painted to look three-dimensional. So your eye's kind of fooled. If you look at them, you could see they look like they have depth to them, but they don't. He's a great artist. Then you'll see up here, like it's kind of a rounded shape, and you
Yes,
see
I can
some
see
figures
like
there.
a little radio.
And you see one here, and you see one over here, and they're all different depictions of Saint Joseph.
Yeah, we
So
can see
this
a
is
little.
Saint Joseph, and I first thought that was Jesus up there, but that's Saint Joseph, and he is being made like the head, patron saint of the church, and all these other people, very famous and saints, are giving him honor. So that's Saint Joseph's church. We have Saint Joseph all over. Then here we have Saint Joseph and Mary being espoused to each other, so being wed. They used to call it in the old days espoused. Joseph and Mary, and then over here we have the death of Saint Joseph up in this middle one here. So it's a little life story of Joseph.
That one, right?
Right. Way up in the round.
Oh, okay.
It's hard. When we get over, if you want to walk over, you might want to walk over to have a more coherent story. Yeah, if you want, we'll have a look at these. These are called shrines.
Okay.
Before we walk over there, I'll show you. This is the altar. which is now in the center of the church. So this is where Mass is celebrated. And you can see from the design, it's very much reflective of the baptismal font. So as you come into the church, you're baptized.
Exactamente en el centro, ¿verdad?
Right, this is in the center. It's under the dome. Under the dome center. So this is where the priest will get up and offer the sacrifice at a Mass. Underneath there, you'll see our sound system. The sound system is also in the lamps that you see scattered around the church. Can you see it underneath?
Yeah. Yeah, it's like a speaker.
It's like a box. Yes,
It's like a box.
yeah. So you can hear what the priest is saying.
Yeah.
And then it's also there's speakers up in some of the lamps. Up that you
Wow,
see.
and people.
All around.
They
The
are-
church is, yeah.
Yeah, the Father is right in the middle.
Right,
Huh?
right.
Okay.
I'll take you over here for another view. So to be a cathedral, you have to have a bishop. So when you have a bishop, he always has a special chair that he sits in, and it's called a cathedra. Really, that's where you get the name cathedral, and it's a Italian word and it's a Greek word. Cathedra.
Cathedral.
Cathedra means chair.
Or Catedral.
And the only one that sits in this chair is the bishop. This is the bishop's chair, the cathedra. That's at St. Joseph's. Anytime you're in a cathedral, they will have a special chair just for the bishop.
Esta silla tiene algo muy especial.
And then up here you'll see the insignia of our current bishop, who is Bishop Oscar Cantu. And the insignia on the left-hand side, the emblem is of Santa Clara, the San Jose Diocese, Santa Clara County. And you see the crosses down the emblem.
Yes.
And a stylized rose, which is symbolic of Our Lady of Guadalupe. So we have all of those. That's the emblem of the Diocese of San Jose. I'll show you the full thing on this umbrellino over here, but for now. On the right-hand side, we have the emblem of the bishop, Bishop Cantu. And on the bottom half of the field, it's green, and that green symbolizes Mexico. That's where his heritage is. His parents were born in Mexico. He was raised in Texas. Up above, it's blue, and that symbolizes his citizenship in the U.S. In the middle, we have a table with the Eucharist, symbolizing two things. To Bishop Cantu, the family is all important, and he emphasizes the importance of gathering around the table as a family and celebrating each other. We have the Eucharist because we have the altar, the table where we celebrate the sacred food of the Eucharist. And so he's tried to tie all that together in this emblem.
A lot of story.
A lot of story. Yeah, and I think it's very beautiful how he's done that. So the staffs, a bishop always has a staff as a sign of his office. The staff on the left, which is gold, is the staff similar to the one that his patron saint, who was Saint Oscar, who was a bishop in the 800s in Germany. He's Oscar Cantu, is his name. So that's his patron saint on the left. And on the right is his own very simple staff, symbolizing his role as a bishop. Wow. So a lot going on there. And then above, you'll see this thing called a galero, and it's really an ecclesiastical hat, symbolic of a rank in the church. So if it's green, it means you have a bishop. As you rise up in the ranks of the church, you can get a red hat or a white hat, and then depending on where you're at in that hierarchy, you would have more or less tassels. So bishop is always green and has 12 tassels. It's very old-timey, medieval kind of thing. But when any cathedral you go in, you will see this symbology.
Okay, this is
This is something you'll see in every cathedral. Right, they have a galero. They have a galero.
Not every church, every cathedral.
Just cathedral.
Just
If you
cathedral.
you have to have a bishop to have a cathedra, the chair, the galero, and some of the symbols of this being a cathedral.
Okay.
So then the way the architect designed this is as the bishop sits here, because it's very round and the church is round, it symbolizes the bishop embracing his congregation, embracing
Okay,
all the people.
usually who
The bishop sits here. Only the bishop, nobody else.
nobody else. Yeah, yeah, yeah.
It's like a sacred spot.
Yeah,
A
yeah,
special place for a place of honor, like the king's throne or something.
like the king.
We're not quite that.
This is the view
This is the view from the cathedral, from
the
the
ca-
chair.
from the chair of the cathedral.
Another thing you'll see up here is this beautiful organ in the loft.
On top,
Right, and that organ was donated again by the O'Connor family.
the
Right, see all the pipes up there?
oh, okay. Let me go there.
It's quite beautiful when they play it. It was donated in the 1870s by the O'Connor family,
Oh, by the same family.
by the same family. And when it was refurbished in the 1980s, they had some specialists come in and take the organ apart, and there's 40,000 parts in that organ. They took it all apart, refurbished it, and reassembled it. So it's been in use for many, many years. But again, a donation from the O'Connor family.
Wow, we're lucky to have that
We
family
were
in San
very
Jose.
lucky to get the O'Connors, yeah.
Okay, vamos a seguir caminando.
Any questions about?
No, it's like it's beautiful. I always record outside, but during the
Right. So have you already looked at the outside?
yes,
Okay.
yes.
So one of the interesting things about the outside is those pillars that you see. You would think maybe they were made of marble or something, but they're not. They're actually redwood timbers covered in metal and painted. So if you go tap on them, you'll see what I mean. But it's all redwood inside there. California, a lot of wood here. At least in those days we did.
Okay, that is okay. Anita.
I think you're getting a kick out of this name.
Anita, yeah, is Anita. Anita is
I hope you're not going to post this on YouTube.
no. This is this tour is for people. They want to see, how is the San Jose Cathedral inside.
Right. Where are you from? Are you from here?
I am from San Jose.
Uh-huh.
Yeah, I am from San Jose, California.
Oh, wonderful.
Yeah. I live here for a while, but always I am recording outside, but I never
Okay, never
get
come in.
into to record.
Right.
Is we are free to come in and record
It's the tours are from 1 to 3, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday.
yeah.
And there's a lot of services. And of course, this is Holy Week, so there'll be a lot going on here. But you're always free to come in if it's we're not open all the time.
Yeah.
They actually close the doors at 3.
Okay. Yeah, is thank you for your time. You are explain people. A lot of people will understand you because a lot of people they speak English on the channel, and some people they speak just Spanish like me,
yeah.
and but is you are giving a lot of information to us to understand more. Know what means San Jose Cathedral.
Right. San Jose is a very special
Yeah.
place. So another thing that you'll see in any cathedral that you go to around the world is these symbols, and there's 8 of them in the cathedral, and they're placed there as a sign of how sacred a place this is. So when the cathedral is consecrated, they put those symbols on it, which I've never known that, so I didn't know to look when I've been in another cathedral.
Wow.
Now I'll take you now to the chapel, which is where the Eucharist, and you will see the old altar, and the old altar used to face this way at the back of the church, and in the renovation they turned it 180. It weighs 26,000 tons. It's very heavy. And they took them like 12 hours to turn it around.
Okay, how many tons?
26,000 tons. Very heavy marble.
26,000.
Yes. Very heavy altar. You can
Muy
see
pesada, 26,000.
tons.
Oh,
2,000,
oh,
a ton is 2,000
okay.
pounds.
Okay, yeah.
Yeah,
It's,
yeah.
it's
Very heavy.
Es mucho peso.
You see. So in the altar, you'll notice different saints. Now, I'm not sure I can tell you. That's the Blessed Mother, St. Francis of Assisi. I think that's St. Ignatius Loyola. I'd have to check it. It's coming to. Here we have the tabernacle. The Blessed Sacrament is inside those doors. St. Joseph, St. Anthony, and that, I think, is St. Ignatius Loyola. I'd have to look in my little cheat sheet. Anyway, very old little statues. This has been here a long time, and people that grew up in San Jose back in the day recognize this altar. I have a 91-year-old friend who remembers. She loves. This is what she grew up with. She graduated from this church when she graduated from high school. It's very young.
Okay.
Now I'll show you. If you look over here, you see something. It's called an umbrellino. Umbrellino. It's an Italian, like an umbrella.
Okay.
It's like an Italian word. And so you get an umbrellina. It's an honor from the Pope. And it's when you are bestowed the honor of being a basilica. So not only is St. Joseph a cathedral, we have a bishop, it's also a basilica because of a couple of things. One is the beautiful artwork. And only the Pope is the one that makes the decision if you could be a basilica. So it's because of the artwork and because of the history of the church. It's got a very long and deep history for California. And also because of the outreach to the community. So I think it was Paul John II that named this a basilica. So we'll walk over and I'll show you some of the symbols. Up here you can see that symbol of the Diocese of San Jose, and you see the whole picture. So that's the insignia. Again, you see the crosses for the missions, the Carpenter Square for St. Joseph, the rose for Our Lady of Guadalupe, the mountains for Santa Clara Valley. And if we walk around this way, you can see the symbol for the Pope, who was Pope that named this a basilica. See St. Peter's up on the top. Kind of down here on the right, it looks like keys because it's the Pope. He's the St. Peter's representative on this earth, right? He's got the keys too, just like Peter. That's a symbol.
Vamos a seguir caminando. Oh, from this side too.
Over here we have the insignia of the bishop, Bishop Pierre Dumaine, who was bishop when this became a basilica in the 1980s. He was our first bishop in San Jose, fairly recent, 1981. So San Jose used to report up to San Francisco, but we got so big,
Yeah.
they made us our own diocese. So Pierre Dumaine was our first bishop here. So that's his. He has a French ancestry. And if you look, you'll see up close. Like Fleur de Lis up in the top. It's a blue background, which is French, the French color. Of course, they're red, white, and blue also, but that's Pierre Dumaine's symbol. So they say if the Pope ever comes to visit, you're supposed to traditionally open the umbrellino and ring the bell. But this umbrellino doesn't open. So if we do ever get a visit from the Pope, we're going to have to get a new umbrellino so we can, but we don't think that's going to happen.
Okay.
So
Wow.
a lot of symbolic.
Yeah.
Now I'll take you and show you St. Joseph up close.
Vamos a.
So again, you see St. Joseph, and he's holding the Carpenter Square. We've seen that symbol a lot throughout the church. And Jesus as a young boy. I've heard a couple different things about what that wood is he's holding. I've heard people say that it's symbolic of the crucifixion. Other people of Joseph teaching him how to carve, and it's the baseline for building something. Jesus was building a church, a new church. And I had a young man in here once. He was very interesting. He goes, no, that's a sign of Jesus' strength. So people, they see things differently. It was very
Wow.
interesting to hear how
Yeah.
different people see things.
He was teaching how build things.
Right, how to build things. He was a carpenter.
He was a carpenter.
Right. So
Oh.
another thing you'll see that's relevant to St. Joseph is all around, it's called a frieze. See the black lettering? It's kind of hard to pick out, but the little black letters all around,
Yeah.
that's all Latin, and it's the 3 times we see Joseph's name in the Bible. So Joseph, we see his name when the angel appears and tells him to take Mary as his wife. The story is all up in here. And then again, we hear about St. Joseph when the angel tells him to take the baby Jesus and Mary and to flee into Egypt. They were running away from Herod, who was killing little children. And then the 3rd time is when St. Joseph, or Joseph and Mary, had to go back to the temple in Jerusalem because they were missing Jesus. Jesus was lost in the temple. I think he knew where he was, but Joseph and Mary lost him because they were all in a big group, and the story is
And everything is right in English or in different?
It's all in Latin.
Or in different
Latin.
language?
It's Latin. Much closer to Spanish or Italian than to English, but yeah,
Okay.
you could make it out speaking Spanish. The words are very similar. Anyway.
Como ven, mi gente, estamos aquí adentro de la catedral y Anita nos está dando un tour y nos está dando toda la explicación de qué significa todo lo que está aquí adentro.
A side altar that's California, but I've also found out it's very important to the people. Because I've had visitors from South America, Mexico, and it's Our Lady of Guadalupe. It's Juan Diego's cave. I don't know if you know the story of Our Lady of Guadalupe.
Yeah.
And Juan Diego,
Juan Diego, let's go.
who's the peasant boy that saw her. See, they're turning close, so I have to.
No, we
So this is important.
This is very, yeah.
So Our Lady of Guadalupe appeared in 1535, way before Fatima or Lourdes. Very important saint to the people here. Yeah.
Very important.
Yes. So Our Lady of Guadalupe appeared in Mexico in 1535 to Juan Diego. She wanted a church built, and the bishop said no. And so Juan Diego went back to the hill where he had seen this lady, and she said, I want a church built, tell the bishop. And so he said, okay. So he went and told the bishop again, and the bishop told him to go away. So here he was just a little peasant boy. So he went back and he saw the lady again, and she said, tell the bishop I want a church here. And he's like, he won't believe me. He doesn't believe me. He tells me to go away. So she said, go and pick those roses on the side of the hill, which is why we have the rose emblem. And they were a Spanish rose, a Castilian rose that didn't really grow in Mexico. Go and pick those roses, put them in your robe, hold them like this, and then go to the bishop and tell him you want a church, and then open your robe. So he did.
Excuse me,
We have to go.
we have to.
Okay.
close.
Yeah.
Then he opened his robe, and the roses fell out, and there was the emblem of the Our Lady of Guadalupe on his emblem, and Our Lady got her church built.
Okay. Good finish. Wow.
Okay, so we do have to close.
Yes.
It's Hector.
Yeah. Okay.
Israel's time to go home.
All right. Thank you so much, Anita.
What
And
is your name?
my name is Aníbal Portillo.
Aníbal?
Aníbal
Aníbal
Portillo.
Portillo.
Yeah.
That's very nice to meet
Okay.
you.
Thank you so
I
much.
wish you all God's blessings.
Okay. Thank you. Thank you. Okay. Ya
And
van.
here's in Spanish.
Ok, muchas gracias. Thank you. Ya van a cerrar la iglesia, entonces vamos a salir, ¿verdad? Ya ella nos explicó todo. Terminamos con la historia de la Virgen de Guadalupe. Y muchas gracias por vernos acompañado a este video. Ok. Yeah, was a pleasure.
Thank you. It was very nice to meet you. I
Yeah.
hope,
Yeah. And
have a
Yeah.
wonderful day. A
yeah.
wonderful, happy
Yeah, you
Easter.
too. Yeah, thank you. Thank you so much. Okay.
Thanks for coming in.
Okay. Muchas gracias. Sí.
Ajá, claro.
Muchas gracias, mi gente, por verme acompañado al tour que dimos adentro de la Catedral de San José. Nuevamente, si no se han suscrito al canal, suscríbanse, denle like al video, compártanlo y muchas gracias.